BlaqueWitchYaya,
Hello you all, I'm BlaqueWitchYaya. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and today we are going to do the story. Some of y'all probably already know the drama that came behind filming this video, especially because this shirt may look real familiar from my live. But for everyone, we are going to do the story of the evil candy lady. So this story comes from the Jernigan family in North Carolina. I was specifically told to say hey to Kenny and Janae. I say I was told to do so because I try not to use real names in my stories, but they said, can you please say hey to Kenny and Janae? So hey Kenny, hey Janae. So this story is told as a cautionary tale for individuals in their family who are expecting to have their first child. So this is more of a folklore or cautionary tale. This didn't actually happen in real life, but she wanted to share this story due to the messages that come behind it. So I'm going to share with you all the story that her family shares about the evil candy lady. And this story takes place in Cherry Lakeview neighborhood. Also, while I tell this story, I will be making my crystal dry rub, which is an all-in-one crystal cleanser that you can use to keep your crystals cleansed and charged. I bet some of y'all know this promo by heart. But you can use this to keep your crystals cleansed and charged when you're not wearing them. Sprinkle some in your jewelry box if you're about to have a ritual where you're about to charge your crystals. Sprinkle some of this around the crystals just to keep the energy flowing, especially if someone touched your crystals or tried to wear one of your crystals. Keep some of this in the bed of your jewelry box to keep them cleansed, charged, and protected. And you can get your crystal dry rub from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. And before I block my bling, you could get your clear quartz ring from BlaqueWitchYaya.com as well. But we're going to have to take you off so we could get into this story. So we are currently in Cherry Lakeview neighborhood. This is a neighborhood that's meant for families. It has very big houses. You could always hear kids playing. There's school bus traffic that comes when school's in session. You could just know that this is an area where kids play, have fun. This is a family-friendly neighborhood. Now, depending on where you're from, usually all neighborhoods who have a lot of kids will have a candy lady. So I'm going to assume everyone knows what a candy lady is, but if not, I'll explain. The candy lady first is like gender neutral. It could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be a non-gender identifying. It's the candy lady. No matter who it is, it could be a 6-year-old, the candy lady. So this is usually a person that's in the neighborhood. They sell chips, cookies, juices, sodas, whatever you could think of, depending on where you from. They probably got some pickled egg, pickled sausage, probably got some pickled pig feet. Anything that you would just get from your local corner store, you will get it from the candy lady. Oh, you could also get flips. Do y'all call this flips or Dixie cups? I call these flips because you're supposed to like squeeze it out and flip it and eat it like that. But they sell all types of little knick-knack and snacks. And in this neighborhood, the candy lady was Miss Nora. Now, she had all the good snacks, all the good food, and she actually baked some of the goods herself. She had a very organized structure on how she sold the goods. You know, Monday is red velvet cupcakes. Tuesday, you can get you a slice of strawberry cake. Even some of the now adults in the neighborhood knew Miss Nora since they were a teenager. She's a 70-year-old retired nurse. But when you look at her, you wouldn't think of her as someone who would be a candy lady. You know, some women who just purely don't look their age so much to the point where it's suspicious. It's like, okay, I know you eat healthy, but you might not just eat at all. You didn't put no poison in your body. Your body don't even know what sugar is. She was in great shape, nice, clear, tight skin. You could see her doing her power walks in the morning with her gallon of water with weights on her legs. She was just very in shape and just very youthful. If someone had to guess her age, they would probably say late 30s, early 40s, not even trying to flatter her. She just did not look 70. And she didn't have any kids. Unfortunately, she wanted kids, but she wasn't able to have her own. So she just took that care that she had in her for children and just took care of other people's children. And in her house, it's almost like you went to your grandmother's house. Not only did she have all the good snacks, the good sodas, if kids were playing around, they got out of breath, they got tired, they got injured, they could go to her. She's a former nurse, so she could wrap them up really good, disinfect any scars, help them out with their asthma. If they just need to take a break, she had pallets and blankets in one corner of her living room where kids could come in and take a nap, like a little sanctuary for children. And again, for the individuals who may not know what a candy lady is, she's just, if you're outside playing, you need to take a little snack break, you'll go to her with $2 and you can walk out with some hot Cheetos, a Czech soda, some candy, and a sausage. Just one little stop shop. pass it out. Sometimes adults will go send their kids to the candy lady, like, go to the candy lady, give me one of them cookies. It's just a corner store that's not a corner store. So like I said, she didn't look like your average candy lady. Not saying candy ladies have a certain look to them. She was just very health conscious. It'll make you question, like, you sell cookies and cakes and cupcakes and brownies. Do you even know what this tastes like? It doesn't look like you eat any of this, but she did, and so did everybody else, because she was a good baker. Her treats were the main thing that sold. But it didn't stop there. Even in her backyard, she had different games set up for the kids where they could play hopscotch, double dutch, cornhole toss. She even had a pool where they can swim. She just had a whole sanctuary so the kids could play in the playground that's in the neighborhood, or go straight to her backyard and play and swim as well. So I know y'all may be thinking, oh my god, this just sounds like a beautiful woman. I wish I had her in my neighborhood. Plot twist: this is a story that's a cautionary tale, so there isn't much detail about, oh, in her early life she did this. This is a cautionary tale, so we get straight to the point. So you would think while the kids are in her backyard just playing around, laughing, giggling, playing tag, whatever kids do, if you see her, you would just think that she's sitting and watching them, making sure no one gets hurt, making sure they don't play fight a little too rough. But no, while she's sitting there watching the kids, she's absorbing all of their energy. You may be wondering how, what in the science fiction is this? Let me explain how this goes. So just to explain some of the things she would do while she's sitting in the backyard watching them play, she's absorbing their energy by putting intentions to absorb the youthful energy. When she's inside the living room taking a nap, recharging their energy, because you know kids just wake up on 100, they take a nap and now they on 300. So while they're laying there taking a nap, recharging their energy, she's sitting in the living room too. Of course, it looks like she's just keeping an eye on them, but she's recharging as they're recharging to get some of that youthful energy soaked up in her. So for example, have you ever had one of those days you're in a good mood that all of a sudden your phone ring, you look and see who it is and you're like, oh Lord, here they go with this. Before you even answer the phone, it's like your mood changes. You already feel drained because every time this individual calls you, they put in some type of problem on you. They talking about how they had to go curse somebody out. It's always an issue. And when you get off the phone with them, they're feeling all better because you done recharged their energy, validated their feelings. And now you like, oh, see, now I need a nap. See, I was just about to go to the stove, get some groceries, cook, but now I just need a nap and to be by myself. It's almost like you have to recharge yourself because that person just sucked all the energy from you. They usually refer to these type of people as energy vampires. Or if you go to work and you could just see the energies off, the manager mad, the employees mad, so you're like, oh Lord, this is about to be a crazy day. Or sometimes you can even feel it when you get in your car and drive. I don't know if you ever had an experience where you're just driving and you can just feel a lot of tension in the air. It could be no signs of road rage, but you're just like, why does the energy feel like, why does it feel tension? People driving a little weird. It just feel like everybody upset at once. You can feel and sense that energy around you. And this also can happen in a positive way as well. If you ever go to brunch with your friends, y'all have y'all talk, y'all express y'all feelings, what's going on, the good news, the bad news, they give you advice, you give advice, and then you leave like just energized and refreshed, and everyone feels like they got their cup full because everyone was pouring into each other, and it just wasn't one person being like, okay, all eyes on me, let me talk about my bad behind kid. It was everyone else was feeding off of each other energy, so everyone left vibrating high, feeling good. Or it could be your loved one, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend. You know, anytime they come around, you're just about to feel good. You could feel energy, and the energy will have an impact on your emotions, on the way you look, on the way you speak, the way you interact with people. If you ever see someone, they just look emotionally drained. They have a cup of coffee in their hand, they're moving around, they're talking, but they just look like they're tired. It may not be a wrinkle or a red eye or a heavy eye. It's just that you can sense that they're tired. That's the drained energy, but they're still consistently trying to push through the day. So energy can be drained like that. Now, some people who are energy suckers, energy vampires, most of them probably do it without even knowing it. But if you're like Miss Nora and you set your intention, you can really soak up someone else's energy to use it to your benefit. Another example, I'm not sure if this is just a Florida thing since we're like big on lottery. It's told that you're not supposed to buy a lottery ticket for a stranger. Sometimes, and this is like a thing that actually commonly happens, you'll be walking in the gas station and it'll be a random older person, usually it's an older person, saying, hey, you could go in there, buy me a scratch off. They'll give you the money for it and everything, but they're trying to use your youthful innocent, less drained, less tainted, less damaged energy, thinking that you'll have a better luck with getting a good scratch off. And usually if this happens and you get a scratch off for that person, they're going to hit something because your energy was associated with it. Y'all let me know if y'all were told that as well. But that's a thing here. You don't buy a scratch off for strangers. Now, if your mama send you to the store to get a scratch off, okay, that's your mama. But for a random person like, hey, baby, can you walk in there? My leg hurt. Give me that $10 gold rush. No. So think of that as what Miss Nora was doing. She knows she had all those kids surrounded by her. She never caused any physical harm to them. But after they get done playing around her backyard, swimming, laughing, jumping, skipping, she would go in her backyard. You know how you're told to ground yourself, to bury your feet in the sand? She would do that, but just think about all that youthful energy that was just spread across the backyard. Now she's soaking it in herself into the soil that just held all those young energies, the youthfulness, the happiness, and she's doing the meditation to absorb that energy in, to absorb her surroundings, which is the childlike energy, which helps with her youthful look, her mobility. Sometimes she will take the dirt from her backyard after they get done playing, and she'll make it into a mud to do a mask, to put it on her joints, to keep her joints moving and lubricated. If she's having any pain after they get done playing, she'll mix it up with some herbs and like rub it into her skin, utilizing that energy to soak it into herself. So you know how kids come back inside from playing, they hot, sweaty, smell like outside, they ready for a good old nap and shower. These kids would be tired because of course they just spent hours playing, but they got some extra energy soaked up from them as well. So when this story is told amongst this Jernigan family, some people are like, okay, well, if you're not causing any emotional or physical harm to my kid, you're just soaking up the energy, they're safe, they still get to play, no problem. But other people are like, don't get any type of access to my children without my permission and without me knowing, and especially without the kids knowing. That's taking advantage of them. And that's why she's referred to as the evil candy lady, because she's doing something with a certain intent for her own self gain, but without permission and access to the individual's energy. Even though she's naturally surrounded by that energy because she is the candy lady, she just has a different motive that's behind it. And the reason for sharing this story in general is to not let your kids over everybody's house. That's one of the reasons. Of course, we know you have to be cautious of any physical harm, emotional harm, and also we have to be aware of the spiritual harm that could come as well, because usually it's horrible, but some adults will use kids' energy for their own self-gain when it comes to spell work, due to the fact that, you know, when you do spells, your energy has to be right, your emotions have to be high, you want to make sure you focus, you're attentive. There's no higher energy than a child's energy. They're innocent, they haven't been tainted, damaged, hurt by the world yet. Like I tell you guys with manifesting, you want to have the imagination of a child. When a child has an imaginary friend, you cannot tell them that Mr. Rabbit isn't sitting right next to them at that dinner table. They can see it, they can feel it, and it's almost like they expect everyone else to see it too. That's how you need to be with manifesting. Have the imagination of a child, because a child's imagination and energy is so pure that it can attract and bring in a lot of things. And that's why we're told when we do spell work to make sure you're vibrating high, you're in a good mood, because whatever emotions that you're going through is going to be reflected in your spell work. So a lot of people who may have tainted energy, bad energy, always in a bad mood, they'll try to surround themselves by a kid just to soak up their energy and to use their energy. Or sometimes they'll have the kids go into the Botanica, be like, okay, pick out me a protection candle, go over there and get me that, since it's the child intentions in picking out the candle. That's utilizing their innocent energy in hopes that whatever ritual or spell work you're doing would turn out better for you. There's even certain spells that you guys may be familiar with, especially over on the Barron's channel, about certain spells that you can do for body pain, for arthritis. There's a way you can get the kid to rub on certain body parts that hurt, that's in pain, and have them go outside and play, and that's symbolic to them burning off the energy, burning off the pain, because their body can't carry the pain, so it has to burn it off, and it's removing it from you. So there's a lot of spells that involve utilizing the energy of children, so you have to make sure you're keeping your children physically, emotionally, and also spiritually protected as well. I know it sounds random, and who would do that, but who would harm kids in general? You see how many monsters are out there. So just imagine in the spiritual world what people's intentions may be. Even though they're not physically touching them, the kid may not even know what's going on, but it's still interacting and taking advantage of their spiritual energy. Just how adults, we like to burn our candles, wear our crystals for protection, and do all that. Put that same energy into your children as well. Whether you draw like a sigil, first of all, sorry y'all, I'm not a parent, so please take all of this advice with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, what do I know? But if I had a child, if what I would do to my niece, I would have like certain sigils drawn really small on the inside of her book bag, maybe have a crystal tucked off in the corner somewhere, have a particular prayer that you do every day before they leave the house, have a certain oil, you may put lotion on their skin that has like some type of protection element to it. Whatever you choose to do with your kid for protection, make sure you put that same effort in protecting them spiritually as you do yourself. You may be thinking, well, they're just a kid, they don't know nothing about this spiritual stuff. You may not be able to tell them, but you're their parent, so of course you're protecting them. But you want to make sure when they grow up and they become this beautiful spiritual being that's practicing, that they're not wondering where all this random feelings are coming from in their shadow work, because they didn't know their energy got interfered with as a child, and whatever pain point that individual had kind of got attached to them, and it took them along that journey as well. And they may not be able to find out where the root of why do I get anxious all of a sudden, or why do I get sad when I see this building, what's up with this building. It could be associations with someone else that tried to taint your energy as a kid during your youth. And this can also happen in adult life as well. Some real life examples, it may be you go into dinner, of course you want to know who all's there. Oh, Lisa's gonna be there. If Lisa's there, we're gonna have a good time, because Lisa's a good time. Lisa's fun. Utilizing Lisa's energy to dictate the fun that you're going to have. Of course, you may not have that intention, but it's like Lisa is always a good time. She's always fun. She's always happy. That doesn't mean, okay, let's surround ourselves with Lisa because she's going to make this activity fun. But you want to make sure that your energy is good as well. So not only is Lisa being the fun one, everyone's being the fun one. Or you may be that go-to person where, oh, I don't feel good, let me call Veronica. Veronica don't want to hear your problems every day, but you know Veronica has a good life. She's always happy. She's always fun. So talking to her, she's going to give you advice, and then you're going to feel better so you can have energy like Veronica instead of working on your own personal energy. Or if you're an individual who's always happy, who always laughing, who always smiling, you may be surrounded by people who want to soak up that energy, or feel like your energy is a little too high, a little too happy. So throw little slick comments or slick jabs at you to try to bring your energy down so it can match theirs. Also with this story, another lesson that this made me think of, they didn't put it in here, but it also reminds me of candy spells, similar to food spells. But usually when someone has bad intentions for you, they'll put whatever intention or physical items that they want to harm you in the form of candy, because it's the sweetness covering up the spiciness. Like, oh, let me give her something sweet even though my intentions are sour, trying to cover up their act and hide their hand. So a lot of times, I think I told this one of these videos how I had a coworker always trying to get those lifesaver gummies, the really big ones that come during Halloween. She knew I liked them, so she used to always try to give me some. But I noticed anytime I would walk by her desk and she'll be like, here you go, and I was eating them up because I love me some jumbo lifesaver gummies, I would just get thrown off for the day. And then it took me a while to realize maybe I should stop taking candy from this lady. Now, why? Because we barely interacted on a daily basis. You just never know the intentions that people have behind what they're doing. It could have been a situation, oh, Yaya always happy, we got to bring her back to reality, or whatever. And the thing is, they may not even know that they're doing it themselves. So that's why simply don't take things from people that don't like you or have bad intentions for you, because if that person genuinely doesn't like you, but they have to give you something, maybe you're doing Secret Santa at work, their intentions and what they do is always going to be attached to whatever they're saying to you, giving to you. When they touch you a certain way, you're going to feel that negative energy without them even putting forth the intent to do so, because it's just embedded in them. So it's going to reflect in whatever they do. So this just goes to protecting your energy, protecting your peace. Even if your energy bad, let me have my bad energy by myself. Don't try to tap into my energy. You want to be in control of your own energy, because like I said, with the person who may not like you, whatever intention and energy they have towards you is going to be reflected in what they do. With yourself, whatever energy that you have on a daily basis with the things that you do is going to be reflected as well. Kind of if you had to do somebody's hair, you in a bad mood, the hairstyle more than likely is not going to turn out right because your energy is bad. So it's going to come out, it has to burn out of your body. Energy is meant to be burned and generated, so it's going to come out of your body in a certain way. For me, if I'm in a bad mood and I try to film a video, I'm going to absolutely positively hate the video. I'm going to be like, oh, my hair don't look right, oh, this don't sound right. For all all the parents who watch me, maybe if you don't mind sharing some of the ways you protect your kids down below, just in case there's a parent watching who never thought about spiritually protecting their child, you can share some things down below, whether it's you have them a gold bracelet that has a crystal on it, you have little quotes in their lunchbox throughout the day. Whatever you do to protect your kid, let us know down below if you don't mind sharing. Of course, some things are sacred, but if you have little tips, share it down below, because I know sometimes taking advice from someone who's not a parent is like, girl, bye. So if it come from y'all, it may be coming out better. I just want to warn y'all just to protect your energy and to protect your children's energy as well, because your energy is very vulnerable. A lot of people want access to it. Of course, you want to meet people where they at, meet people energy, match people energy, but remember, at the end of the day, you want all control over your energy. And even if you don't have kids, how do you go throughout the day with protecting your energy? Do you keep some Florida water spray in your purse like me and just, spray yourself around it? And you get your Florida water from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. Do you keep a black obsidian necklace on you so you could just protect your aura throughout the day so it won't be tainted? You could just duck and dodge anything that was trying to come your way, that you can get from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. A whole bunch of promo. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Leave some comments down below. Thanks again to the Jernigan family for sharing your story. If you have any more cautionary tales, please send them my way. I love stories like this that have a greater meaning that can be applied to different areas of your life. So if you have any, email me. I'll have a link down below. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. And like I always say, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe of the soul. Until next time, you guys, Ashe.